Very exciting. I'm in the enviable position.
Spell it. IT. Envious position.
Very, very much so.
Who's beside you?
Of a lot of ladies who are outside the radio building this morning on my way in. To my left, the lovely Markus Feehily, and to my right, the lovely Nicky Byrne. Markus, welcome. How are you?
Westlife sandwich today.
Oh, listen, there you go.
That's the tone lowered straight away for the show. It's
We're
the way it
also
works.
live on Periscope at the moment. If any we would like to, are we on the 2FM one?
Live from Powers Court.
Yeah, we are on the 2FM Periscope. So if you want to watch this,
Mark,
make sure you check it out.
I have to ask you a question. I had Shane on the show last October when he was on talking about his autobiography.
Oh, right.
I flicked through that where I told him, I pointed out to him that he had lied in the autobiography.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, a couple of times he did. But it was okay. I told him what he lied about, but it was okay. He gave Keane the credit for asking Dolores O'Riordan to sing with us in the Vatican many moons ago.
Oh, that's terrible. Blasphemous.
Can you remember who actually asked Dolores?
I don't think it would have been you.
Thanks. Yeah, that's fine. We got over that in the end. But I have one question for you.
Okay.
And everybody's wondering. Big question, this, Jenny.
I'm dying to hear what this is.
I might even do this.
Okay.
Mark Feehily, have you still got a teddy named Fart? That is true.
Fart.
No,
Yes.
I have no idea where he is. I think he actually went to America.
Really?
Yeah.
You left him in America?
No, I think he actually booked a flight and went. He was real. He had a personality.
You know what you hear, Jenny? People keeping like blankets and baby blankets and stuff.
Yeah.
Mark travelled with the first few years of the band with a teddy.
And what kind
we
of...
handcuffed him one night. We took the teddy and handcuffed him.
I think he done more than handcuff him, to be honest. I think he came back in an awful state after that.
God love him. So how have you been getting on since, obviously, I mean, it's been a couple of years since all of you guys were together. And is it nicer for you now that you're getting to do the kind of music that you really want to do instead of, and there's nothing wrong
Instead
with
of the crap you did in the band,
no,
basically.
but I'm just saying... You kind of were the one person who stood out as just having a different taste in music, which isn't a bad thing. But
Yeah, well,
do you feel a bit more...
It's not a great thing we're in a band with him, though.
It's not.
You shut up.
No, I mean, genuinely, especially like thinking back as well, like I genuinely loved performing all the Westlife songs. This isn't like, you see a lot of people leaving boy bands or pop bands and be like, oh, finally I don't have to sing that crap anymore or whatever. But that's absolutely not the case, It's just, I'm just kind of doing something that is a little bit different, but it's no offence to anything in the past.
No.
I mean, that was great fun too. It's just slightly different, that's all.
Have you been enjoying the time off? Like away, should I say, when it's split? Because obviously, when you wake up, my fear was when we were going into that, that you wake up on the morning after the Croke Park final shows and you say, what now? Because that was kind of daunting. Was it the same for you? Because, by the way, for everyone listening, this is only the second time I've met Mark in 3 years. We actually all got together at Keane's, Jodie's mum's funeral about 3 months ago.
And that's it.
Sad occasion, obviously.
This one.
But yes, I haven't seen him.
Yeah, I think it's been like straight away after the band finished. I just actually wanted to just get away, and I went to America because I went to Sligo a couple of days after the last gig, and we had another after show thing, an after show and an after show party.
Yeah.
But then, I just went to Sligo, and straight away the first question everyone was asking is, what are you going to do next? And I was like, well, I still don't know yet, so I think I need to kind of get out of this environment where everyone's asking me what I'm going to do next to figure that out, So I went to America. And I've been away from all the kind of public eye sort of stuff, but I've still been in the studio load, so I haven't been in kind of interview mode for quite a while, but I have been, in the studio load, so I suppose I've kind of been away in one sense and not in the other sense.
You were on the Saturday Night Show a while back, and that was kind of it was a really nice interview. I felt like you really got to know you as a person, and it was kind of a very relaxed and personal interview as well. And I know Brendan was just, all he kept kind of doing was taking the piss out of this kind of chip fan thing. It was like, it's coffee and it's not a chip fan. I thought at one point I was going to hit him myself, but are you still doing that kind of on the side just as a bit of fun, or is that kind of gone at the moment?
Well, so the whole thing is kind of funny, really. And I still get asked about it to this day. Like, people make it out as if, like, we're doing Croke Park one evening, and then the next evening I'm, taking white plastic cups out and, and selling tea, like, or whatever.
You've got the burqa heating up in the corner.
Not that there's anything wrong with selling tea, of course. There's loads of tea in this very studio.
Yeah.
Where's the coffee?
It's coffee. It's cappuccino, and it's not from your van because you didn't bring it into me. Would have been nice.
Would have been nicer, I think.
No, but the thing is, that whole thing, it was more me buying a rusty old van and doing it up and getting creative and bringing it back to,
like a hobby type thing.
Yeah, it wasn't like,
what am I going to do
Jesus,
next? I'm going to make
money.
coffee.
I need to, like, let's sell tea or whatever, That was like at the end when we finished fixing the van up, we were like, oh, it's too beautiful to like leave sitting in the driveway, so let's do something with it, for the crack or whatever.
Yeah.
So we did. We had a bit of a laugh, and and now I'm back to music. So
I saw OK Magazine tweeting at the time going, and it was the third time in about 4 or 5 weeks that they tweeted what pop stars are up to now.
Oh, what they're up to now, and it makes it look like makes it look so bad.
But they kept rejigging the same story. I was like, lads, it's a bit of crack, like, he's got an album coming out. Anyway, so I had your back, Mark, just so you know.
Thank you.
Right, so you always wrote quite a lot in Westlife, and I remember even having conversations with you on tour buses and places. Then you always felt stuff that you were writing probably wasn't for the band.
Yeah, well,
suitable for
in
the
the
band.
last couple of albums, I tried, and some of the songs worked out and stuff like that. But yeah, I kind of there was still kind of rules, or still a formula with the Westlife songs.
But let's get into that a little bit, because we're both on that same page. Do you feel freer now that you're away from the shackles, if that's the word to use, from Simon Cowell or Psycho or those big organisations?
Well, like looking back, like things are very different now to like what I'm doing, if you know what I mean. And looking back, there's many like sometimes you can't sort of see certain things until you look at them with hindsight. And we were very lucky to work with like the biggest man in the bloody world in the music business, and the same with Louis as well. So it's very different to what I'm doing now. I don't look back and think, oh, God, is there a mistake, or how could we walk away from that? I just look back and think that was mental. It was amazing, an amazing time, if you know what I mean. And yeah, I think it's difficult. It's kind of it's a full-time job being in Westlife. So it's kind of nicer now, a little bit older, a little bit maybe more mature, and just a bit more in control of my destiny in a way. Like, but that doesn't, I not mean I wasn't in control before. Just, I suppose, you were saying earlier, joking about me being a minute late or whatever. It's like now I'm allowed to be a minute late and nobody was out to me.
Can I say, if you don't mind, he's late every day.
Oh, right, okay.
And
really?
he said
I'm very
every single day.
Mark, you know me, that Jenny likes to try and have a little stab.
Every single day he's late. So
that surprises me now,
Well, he is.
I was never late in Westlife.
Are you slowing down, Nicky?
Yeah, again, all 37 last week. Thanks for the birthday wish.
The new album's called Fire, and it's going to be out this coming Friday. What is it? You've kind of talked that it's a little bit about heartache and things like that. Is it kind of incorporating all the elements over the last year or two for you?
Yeah, so I was at the end of a relationship, roughly around the same time Westlife was finishing. Mm-hmm. So that was my first ever relationship, and it kind of did, really knock me, just knock me down. I kind of was completely.
It's a lot to happen at the one time.
Yeah, it was a lot of things happening at the same time, and then all of a sudden I was, single for a while, which I realised I didn't really enjoy that much because. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I was a bit naive or something, but I thought everyone would just be nice and be friendly and be honest and stuff. But turns out a lot of people mess you around and lie and stuff. So,
but that gives you great content then for a great album.
Yeah, no, I mean that's the one good thing is that all these kind of not so positive things happen in my life do help me. It's easier. If these things didn't happen, I would have had to make up something. I would have had to make up something to write a song about.
Yeah.
I actually just walked in and wrote how I felt down on a piece of paper, and that was the album. So it makes that easier. But
sad songs kind of appear anyway easier to write than happy ones. I don't know if that's true or not.
A lot of music. A lot of music is therapeutic and sort of a way of getting something out of your system that you mightn't be able to by just chatting to somebody.
Mark, you're quite arty, and a lot of years of Westlife, you would have loved, kind of orchestrating photo shoots and album covers and stuff like that. Is that all you now? Like, are you loving the fact of, I presume you're in charge of all of that stuff, your own album, single covers, all that stuff? Are you loving that? You relishing that?
Particularly the artwork for my album, I was very, very involved in, and I really did enjoy that. It was nice to do something creative that wasn't music, because I just had been involved in the mixing and the finishing of all the songs and everything, and so that when you're doing a full album, it's a bit full on. So then all of a sudden I was just in a studio with a designer designing the album artwork, and I actually have a real heart scan, which is my heart scan from, I don't know if you remember the medical we done for one of the tours a few years before that.
Yeah, they couldn't find a heart in me, man.
It was just blue, it was cold. No, I'm joking. But yeah, so I've got my actual brain scan and my actual heart scanner. I've managed to somehow fit it into my artwork, which I thought was quite cool. But yeah, so.
And you didn't have three of the lads going, what are you talking about? We're not doing that. That's crap. So you must be delighted. When is the album out?
It's out Friday, the 16th. So it's out, actually, this Friday.
This Friday, and it's called Fire.
Yes, Fire.
How many tracks are on there?
There's 11 tracks on the main album, and then 15 on the deluxe copy. But there's 11 on the main one.
Okay, and what other producers have you been working with?
Well, Steve Anderson, who you know, we worked with. A guy called Jim Elliott, who does a lot of Ellie Goulding and Will Young and people like that. Kylie Minogue. There's guys called Nexus, who you actually remember David Snedden from.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's at Fame Academy. I do remember.
He's now like part of a really cool production company.
Really?
And they do like Lana Del Rey music and stuff like that, or whatever. So there's a nice kind of variation of people that I worked with on the album. Some people like, brand new, kind of unheard of, and some people been doing it for years. So it's a nice mix of, new talent and older people.
And you have a couple of signings actually as well coming up. This Sunday you're going to be at H&B Extravision in Sligo.
Yes.
And you're also, that's at 12 p.m. and then at 5 you're heading back to Dublin. You're going to be in H&B in Dundrum. Then on Wednesday, 21st, 5 p.m, H&B Belfast. So if people want to go and see you.
Well, the signing, it's been, I don't know when the last time we done a signing was, Nicky, but
back in the 80s.
It's been a long time since we've done a signing. It's been a long time since
I'll get the lads together for Sunday. We'll do it Sunday. We'll all join you. Surprise you.
Yeah, so it's going to be fun to get back into signing mode for sure, because it's like the closest, pretty much the closest way that you can meet a fan or whatever, and you meet loads of them at the same time and everything. So I'm looking forward.
One thing I want to ask you before we're going to take a break, and then I know you're going to do a live song for us. Was it hard for you to start singing full songs? Because even now, like if I go to sing a full song or Shane goes to sing a full song, he said the same. That you're not just going, I need to do the first verse and chorus here, and then I know Mark's coming in.
Yeah, we have it kind of easy in a way, because like some songs I'd be like, right, I'm not even singing till the middle eight, so I can just chill out here for a few minutes. Listen, get a bottle of water. You
could be worse. You could have been me, where you're going, I'm only coming in for the chorus every so often.
All right, 3.5 minutes.
Okay, you were spoiled. Let me tell you. I'm going to take a break.
To answer your question, I was scared because I done gigs in March, and I was actually really scared, not alone to do one song completely start to finish by myself, but to actually do a full show from start to finish to myself. But I suppose you just kind of you just have to get on with it, like, don't you?
Dig deep.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to take a break, but what are you going to do for us from the album?
It's a song called Love Me or Leave Me Alone, and it's kind of a little mid-tempo, but I've just got a guitar player here with me today, so it's going to be an acoustic version.
You should have brought a guitar though.
He
should have brought his guitar.
Oh, shut up.
Is that Dan? Is that
player? Yeah.
Hey Dan, how are you? Been good working with Mark so far?
Really good.
Excellent, cool. Right, okay, we're going to take a quick break then, Mark. You get yourself together and we'll hear you now. We'll be singing Love Me or Leave Me Alone from his brand new album Fire out on Friday.
Between this and the van, little kind of tiny things that you say in an interview really can just like haunt you forever. I just Marcus has always been my official name.
I think I used to refer to you as Marcus.
Marcus a lot, Nicky. It's not like I've done a J-Lo on it or anything like that. It's just like on my album title, it's Markus Feehily Fire or whatever. But I don't care if people call me Mark. That's what everyone still calls me anyway. So
okay, all right, Marcus, get yourself together. The brand new album is called Fire. It's out on Friday. This Friday, this song from the album is called Love Me or Leave Me Alone. Markus Feehily and Dan on guitar. Take it away.
Me down easily. I'm a whole lot stronger than you think I'd be. Don't worry about the hurt you're causing me. No. Don't let me down easily. Said it's not fair. Oh, leave me alone. Stop me or watch me go. So careless when we're drunk. So quick to sober up. I've had enough of this reckless love. So stop me or watch me go. Love me or leave me alone. easily. See, I'm a whole lot stronger than you think I'd be. Don't worry about the hurt you're causing me. Don't you worry about the fact it's killing me. Don't let me down easily. So love me or leave me alone. Stop me or watch me go. So careless when we're drunk, so quick to sober up. I've had enough of this reckless love. So stop me or watch me go. Love me or leave me alone.
Hey!
There you go now.
There you go. Look at
A
that.
bit of an impromptu start, actually. The start of the song was slightly different than what it was meant to be, but you know,
Listen,
Was
it was
it?
unique.
listen. I can see you've lost your voice anyway.
Do you know what was the best bit of that? Because I was standing over here filming it, and to actually see the concentration in Nicky's face where he was taking the mics
I
down,
was just-
put it back, and making sure everything was fine.
I was listening. I was making
Never
sure the
thought that
guitar
would
wasn't
happen.
too loud. I was mixing one of my own buddies. What's that about?
Well, you found your producer for your second album right there.
There you go.
I was waiting for my bit. I was waiting for the chorus for me to come in. But anyway, it didn't. I hadn't rehearsed with you.
There's nothing like a bit of live on air pressure.
Yeah, you have to listen. Deal with pressures for tires, but you dealt with it very well. Louis, have you spoke to Louis much? Has he heard any of the album? Have you asked his advice, or have you kind of gone? Do you know what?
Asked me which one of his multiple amazing addresses is he at the moment, so I can post him an album. So he said he's going to give me an honest bit of feedback. He said he'd mark every song out of 10, and
But you haven't. He hasn't done that yet.
well, I haven't even posted it yet, but I'm
Right.
going to post it very soon when I get back to London. I mean, like as always, myself and Louis never talk a whole lot of business anyway, you know.
Well, see, me and you share something in common here,
Right.
Because none of us was golden boy in the band with Louis, really. Because it was always Keane and then Shane, and Shane and
okay.
Keane.
Was
But
it?
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, we got on great with Louis, but me and Mark were never the favourites, you know. Where we, Mark? I'm not saying anything wrong there. I'm 37 now. You're allowed to be a man sometimes.
No,
you know?
I think like with me and Louis, I kind of learned quite fast to not bother talking about the business side of stuff to him, like Keane or that'll be someone else's. So me and Louis kind of. I suppose in some ways maybe even clashed a bit in the very early days, but then sometimes it takes a clash to really get properly close to someone, and so I think we're good friends now. I don't see him a whole lot, but every now and again we'll text, or he texts me with loads of support, and he actually sent me down a bottle of champagne and a DVD on all these American Motown backing singers when I was playing the gig in the Olympia back in March. So he's still lovely, and we've always been friends away from business, more than business anyway. So
Absolutely.
nothing's really changed like that.
I have to ask a question, if I may, because I know I'll be killed by a lot of Westlife fans who are listening in at the moment.
By the way, we never did this. Hang on.
Okay, you're gonna.
It's not working.
Okay.
No, wait, we got to play the. There you go.
Okay, there you go. What I do want to know is, at any point in the future, do you think that there is a case that you might fancy getting back on the road? Not even permanently.
Look at you
but
getting asked this question with two of us in the room.
But just even, I have to ask it because that's what
You're
people
like
wanna know.
Graham Norton sitting there. Look at you.
You're lucky as well that regardless of the answer, I'm okay either way. Because I'm thinking either it happens and I get rid of him
you
for a
want
while.
front row tickets.
I get him gone for a while. But no, on a serious note, do you think that there is a case that even you might get together and do a couple of gigs, or is that not something that
Answer
you wanna
after
do?
the break.
Well, I kind of think if we're going to do it, it'd be kind of either do it properly or don't do it.
Yeah.
Like little, I don't know.
Is that a yes?
No,
It's a
like,
maybe.
the thing is, obviously, and I'm sure Nicky's the exact same. All of us are like we're always getting asked, when are we going to split up? When are we going to get back together? It's like literally right up until the day Westlife ended, we used to get asked constantly, when are you going to call it a day? When are you going to split up? You've been around now for years.
Yeah.
And then the minute we split up, immediately everyone flipped the question, and now when are you getting back together? So obviously we get asked it a lot, and the thing is, we don't actually probably know ourselves, to be quite honest.
Probably what is it? 3 years now?
3 years, yeah.
3 years since
not
the
that
last.
long,
4 years since we announced
we're
it.
away for 10 years, was it?
Yeah.
As I say, especially now, like in hindsight, you look back and Westlife was genuinely the best years, of our lives. So there's no, you know what I mean? It was great fun, and So it'd be kind of strange or wrong to ever say never about that, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think everyone seems to be really flourishing in their individual paths now and enjoying it and stuff. So it's just, you know, it's just a different phase of life, I suppose.
So another 7 years,
Well,
maybe.
you haven't asked me yet. That was his answer. Do I get the answer now?
Well,
It's a no from me.
it's a no from me. I'm going to say a yes on your behalf. All right.
And no, it is right. It is right. You know, maybe someday down the road we'll have that conversation, but
Yeah.
certainly not in the next few years.
Well,
anyway.
if you need a manager, you know where I am.
Yes, Jenny, you have to speak to Louis. He'll be fighting him for it. Mark, you're signing, as Jenny said earlier, Sunday, 18th of October. That's this Sunday, 12 p.m. in Sligo, HMV. Also, then you're heading back to Dublin to do Drum then on the same day, correct?
That's right, yeah. I'm going home, and I'm going to use this valuable time in Sligo to see my mum and dad and my goddaughter. And
how are they?
They're very good. They're really, really good. Yeah, they're happy out. You know, I suppose.
Hello to Ollie and Marie.
No news is good news, as my mum says. Everything's the same. They're all happy out down in Sligo. So.
Excellent. Have you been watching Shane's album, and Keane had an album out? Have you been watching that?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you knew, but myself and Shane just ended up randomly sitting at the exact same table at the Pride of Britain Awards like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
So the night before, I knew I was going, and he obviously knew he was going, but we didn't know we were sitting at the same table. I was like, hang on a minute, what's going on here? Is Anton Deck, you know, doing something on us or whatever? But no, we just literally happened to be sitting at the same table or whatever, so I got to kind of meet up, and we were both doing something early the next day, so we couldn't have a few drinkies or whatever, so maybe that's what
and we was literally side by side for dinner and stuff.
Literally sat at the whole show together.
Yeah. I met him recently at the JP McManus event.
Oh yeah,
and he was performing at that. And that was weird as well. Like, it's one thing watching you singing your new stuff here, but I was sitting there watching Shane sing a couple of Westlife tracks.
Oh right, okay, so that's a different dynamic.
which was.
Do you know what I love?
It was good fun though.
Wings if you want.
We were actually going to get you to do the World of Our Own dance, if you can remember it.
Jenny said, "Will Mark remember the World of Our Own?"
Can you remember?
And I said he didn't know them at the time. He's not going to remember them now. Listen, Mark, we got to take a couple of breaks, and it's approaching midday. It's great to have you on, really is.
Oh,
and Jenny didn't want you on, I did, but she's happy now. You happy now, Jenny?
You're an awful bitch.
Markus Feehily, everybody. Brand new album, Fire, is out on Friday. Mark, thanks a mil.
Thanks,
Thank
Mark.
you.